Tony's World. How are you guys? Oh my gosh. I want to just start off with I hope everybody had an amazing Mother's Day and every woman, auntie, godmothers, sisters, mother figures and stuff. I hope all y'all felt appreciated and loved. Um, I currently am PMSing. So excuse me if my body language shifts a little bit in this video. My stomach is literally out to get me right now. Like as soon as I started this video, it just put me in a boxing ring. You know what I'm saying? So, I wanted to come up on here today and talk about consistency, consistency, consistency. And I know that for a lot of people, this is a huge realization for you, probably that, sometimes we stay in places, and this is why I always tell you guys. I think I talked about this in my last video. I can't even remember which one it was. But in one of my videos, I literally said it's better to start because by the time, if you don't start, that's by the time someone else is almost finished. You know what I'm saying? By the time someone else is almost finished, no, by the time someone else is done, you're just now getting started. So you will feel like you're super behind if you're watching people who started 5 years ago, 6 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always tell people it's much better to start and work with what you got because consistency is key. People think that like, truly, unless you are a Kardashian born into some rich, weird bloodline, people don't care to see you just be in luxury. You know what I'm saying? I know this sounds crazy, but especially if you are the type of person who has to build clientele, connection, or trust. Again, I'm sorry guys, I'm PMSing. I'm gonna have to loosen up my pants. So, if you want to have clientele and people that continuously watch you, supporters, people that can trust you, you need to stay consistent. And it's much better to start somewhere than nowhere because people have a lot more respect when they see you work with what you have and level up from there. Unless you're like I said, unless you're like one of these weird celebrities born into rich, weird bloodlines who do weird stuff for fame and stuff, like you are going to need to have consistency. You're not just going to put out a luxury skincare brand and everybody's going to buy it. Nobody knows your name. People need to see you working on skin. People need to see you promoting things. Whatever you're doing, you need to stay consistent with it. And this is including and especially in your self care. There have been so many times in life where I felt like I wasn't really like getting where I wanted to be in terms of like my self care, in terms of my mental health. But it took consistency. You can't do something, it's the same thing, right? I'm an esthetician, so I'm going to bring it to skin, right? If you have like a skin problem, you're not going to fix that skin problem in a week. You're not even going to fix it in a day. Maybe not even 3 months. But within consistency over the years, you will see a huge difference. Like, have you ever had like a really good skincare routine and you stop doing it and you're thinking like, oh, I give up. I don't know. I don't look right. And then you start looking at pictures of times from you when you were doing a certain skin routine or when you had a certain ritual for yourself that made you look and feel good, you'll be like, oh, I need to get back to that. I did look good. I didn't think it made a difference, but it made a huge difference. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, and that's why it's so important to like appreciate yourself for where you are. For where you're at, I think consistency and self appreciation and self gratitude goes hand in hand because I feel as though, in order to truly be consistent and get up, even when you might not be feeling your best, or it just might not be like you might not truly be in the mood, but getting up and showing that type of dedication and consistency is what will pull it all in together. You know what I'm saying? And always trying to, and again, consistency means like you are trying to put energy towards your craft or to yourself every single day in some way, shape, or form. Like, for example, even when I'm not on YouTube, a lot of times it's because I have to take the time to go through my life experience and soak things in and analyze things and, come up with the correct solutions and also make sure these solutions work before I get up on my YouTube channel and start giving people advice. You know what I'm saying? I like to make sure that if I'm going to get up on this channel, the advice that I give you is the same advice that I would give people in real life, the same advice that might make people cut me off. It might make you feel some type of way, but it's right and it's the right thing for you. And I wouldn't come up on here and just play with nobody. And you know what I'm saying? So that is still me being consistent because when I'm not here on this YouTube channel, like for example, my last video was 2 weeks ago. That was because within those 2 weeks, I am doing things for myself. I am doing the consistency that I'm speaking of right now. I'm doing that in real life. So I'm still working towards my goals so that when I get up on here, I can convey a great message for you guys. You know what I'm saying? And believing in yourself and keeping the faith is like the best thing that you could ever do for yourself is just I feel as though if you can believe in everything in this world, right? Like you believe anything politics tell you, you believe anything that the vast majority agrees with. So why not believe that you are capable? This is how I know sometimes y'all be thank you. I'm gonna just say thank you. um so yeah, like you have to believe in yourself. I think that is the best piece of consistency as well. And that's why I said being like appreciative of yourself and having gratitude towards yourself will help you cultivate the consistency that you need in order to thrive, right? And I like to think about consistency the same way I think about mind over matter, right? If in my mind, right, I can consistently pour into this craft or this ritualistic self-care routine, whatever it is, right? Um, my mind's intentions of constantly thinking about this, one day I'm going to get up and do it, right? And each time I have a thought towards what I'm trying to cultivate or create is a moment for me to push it into the space of matter, right? And this is why it's so important to start with that appreciation for yourself and that gratitude for yourself. Sometimes we're being too hard on ourselves and we're not truly being realistic. And I think being a realist will get you very far, right? Because a lot of people, for example, a lot of people do a lot of self-deprecating or um damn, what's the word? Like they are ruining them self-sabotaging things, right? For money, for gain. And imagine if instead of having a lack mindset of sabotaging people, being jealous, competing in places that you're not supposed to compare yourself to. Um what else? Just all this type of stuff. If people would stop doing that and pour more into creating their dreams and realities and being consistent with it, they would get much farther in life. They would get so much farther in life. And, a lot of people, and when I get up on here and I talk about things like common sense, da da da, again, guys, so I'm kind of going through it. I just want to give you guys a quick update. I'm PMSing and I have allergies. So if you see me going like this, I have allergies. If you see me fixing my pants, I'm cramping. Okay. So, um, when people are able to stop thinking from a lack mindset, they're able to work in their highest potential. And this is why on this channel, I'm not necessarily trying to push anybody into being a goody two shoe or living a goody two shoe life. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to show you common sense. That's it. You don't have to be the world's most perfect person, but being a piece of shit don't get you far. That's all I'm trying to say. um because people who usually are like the biggest piece of shits genuinely, and not in a way that is like, oh, I'm gonna have to kind of, this person's gonna have to think about me as a piece of shit right now because I have to put myself first, and I might have to give you a shorter end of the stick because I gotta take the longer end. That's totally different. You know what I'm saying? But also remember too, even in those situations, have common sense and, remember, things are chess, not checkers. You know what I'm saying? But what I mean is like, I'm not like, again, I'm not promoting nobody to be a goody two shoes. If you gotta lie, lie. If you gotta steal, steal. Do what you gotta do. Just do it smart. Have some common sense. But having a lack mindset and moving from hate is actually truly a reflection of how you feel about yourself, right? Because when you are spewing negativity out on people, like for example, right? I literally just was having this conversation with myself because I said, wow, it's so crazy how people could like me so much and hate it. They hate how much they like me. You know what I'm saying? And I say this because I used to be friends with somebody, and basically I guess she ended up getting another friend, so they end up being cool. And I had absolutely no problems with this girl, with her other friend. I really realistically didn't really have problems with either of them for real. But an old friend feels type of way, she's gossiping to her new friend. And mind you, I was booked by one of the other girl, like her new friends, like one of the guys that she claims is a friend but clearly be hitting. You know what I'm saying? And I was booked for like a video, and I just remember like she was throwing all this animosity at me online. And I was like, she was telling me how me and her are basically the same. This is literally what she's like, me and you are similar. I'm like, then why am I not getting online and ask for that advice? Like, you got online, you asked for advice, I was trying to give you the advice. Like, your friends on my page, if you didn't like me, you should have just like literally like, you could have just, I don't even know you, like, you know what I'm saying? I just remember like she was talking and talking, and I ended up seeing her at my club. And when she see me in person, because she didn't know who I was in that moment, she knew who I was. You know what I'm saying? And she see me and she's like, wow, that was the energy. The energy was 100% wow. I threw her off guard. She underestimated me big time. So, she's seeing me, and I didn't say anything to her, because she's at my club now. I'm like, this is like when I was dancing. I'm like, okay, like here this goes. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't even care. I'm gonna walk around with my chest out and ass tooted up, like really, because this is my shit. Like, now you're in my grounds. You know what I'm saying? And I just remember like she was, you could tell her and the friend that who decided to pull her into that drama that I used to be cool with, you could tell they're both just sitting back looking at me like, and they're like, girl, like, I could tell they're like, girl, this is not our club. We might as well go up to her, talk, break the ice, because my energy was so threatening that they had to say something to me. I didn't say anything to these girls. I didn't acknowledge these girls, but my energy was just so hot that they had to say something to me, right? And here my whole thing be about it is, you didn't, neither of these, what was the reason for you not to like me? You don't like me because your friend be having you copy me and be talking shit about me to you and having you underestimate me. That's not my fault. You know what I'm saying? And because of her hate for me, I don't think even to this day she realizes how much is taken away from herself when you spew out that much hate to people, especially someone like me who's an alchemist who practices magic so heavy. It's like spewing out your hateful energy to somebody like me is the wrong person. And I just remember like, they end up coming up to me, squashing the beef. And I'm a naturally peaceful person. I'm not, I am naturally dangerous. So I don't walk around like having to really like be like, bitch, I'm dangerous. Like, I'm dangerous. You know what I'm saying? I'm bad. You know what I'm saying? So I just remember that, we basically settled it, dust, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And quickly I started to see, like, right after that, I'm like, I see online, I'm like, "Oh, girls are trying to be, like, into skincare now?" And I'm an esthetician. I'm like, so back in the day, it's so funny because when I first started dancing back in the day, I used to wear my butt plugs and my cat ears. I was a very, like, whimsical, eccentric girl. And I just remember, like, they were copying me then. I'm like, here you go copying me again. And it's always like laughs and shit until you're trying to do it. And and I'm bringing up this story because this is a great example of people having so much hate in their heart and not knowing what to do with themselves. Because in person, it's very respectful. In person, we don't have beef. In person, nobody's doing anything. It's happy. Even on social media, it's happy birthdays, and then it's like you want to act like you have fake beef with me. No, you want to copy me. You like me, but the people that you chill around are nothing but dirty haters, and that will forever be her downfall. And I want everybody on my channel to know that you don't have to move with hate and jealousy. And if somebody inspires you, you can always give people credit because we are the new celebrities. And in order to really pave the way for each other, we need to make room for each other. There is enough room for each other. There's enough room for all of our creativity, all of us to inspire each other. It's okay to be inspired by somebody. You don't have to put every woman down to make yourself feel better. You don't have to copy people and not give them credit, because these fake celebrities that we know now, that's all in the medias, these are fake, and that's why they're going broke. We need to make room for the real celebrities, which is us. But again, moving with this lack mindset only truly hinders herself. It hinders her, like, the community. It doesn't hinder me because my mindset is so different that either way I'm gonna thrive. You know what I'm saying? And I also think people should also pay attention to, like, what they truly want out of life and what energy you're truly following, because I think about it all the time where I'm like, you girls are moving with a lot of hate and a lot of jealousy, and it's like overly competitive instead of people displaying their art and creativity. And I think people should always remember that in these times, while inflation is going up, pay attention to what type of opportunities you want. That's all I have to say on that end. A lot of people that a lot of people sometimes in small cities who have, like, a lot of support is because people can relate to them. And the more people can relate to your struggle, or the more people can relate to your messy personality, because the more that you validate people's unhealthy habits, the more that they will celebrate you faster, right? But a quick clap ain't nothing to when you truly get your flowers. You know what I'm saying? So I always keep that in mind, that, like, okay, for example, you guys, and this is why I say consistency is always key, because this goes back to consistency. Your favorite influencers were the most hated. I remember when Share 7 came out, nobody took her serious. Nobody took her serious. When Sprinkle Sprinkle came out, nobody took that lady serious until she started to upgrade her look. Her life started to change. She started to get certain deals. Her work literally started to work for people as well. Like, her advice was working for people. It was her work and her consistency literally just started to speak for itself. And I believe she was doing videos for 10 years already. So I definitely think that keeping stories like this in mind, or even the fact that, like, the most biggest influencers and biggest celebrities are often the most controversial. They have the most controversy wrapped around their name. People try to hate them for literally no reason. Even when I think about, like, the spiritual whistleblower, like how obsessed she is with Shira, and you have to understand that that is what comes with it. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, the more that you're able to respond less to the hate and the drama and the animosity, and the more that you're able to put that into your craft and be consistent, the more people respect you. You know what I'm saying? Um, people, and it sounds crazy, right? Because I feel this way like all the time. In real life, I don't feel, I know in real life I have gained a certain level of respect because when I'm out in public, I'm a very respected woman. I'm a very respected woman. And I don't know if it's known, but I'm letting it, I'm a truly respected woman. Like when I go out and the acknowledgement and the praise that I get and the affirmations that people give me, it's not an average affirmation. It's not just, oh, you're beautiful. It's oh, you're a goddess. Like it's people really looking up to me. It's people really willing to be like, listen, I know that I'm a crazy mess right now, but one day I want to get to a point where, you know, you will acknowledge me to that point, to that extent. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of respect that I get in real life. So you people have to understand that no pain, no gain. No pain, no pain, no gain, no gain, no gain. Oh, oh, oh. No pain, no pain, no gain. Oh, that part, okay? No pain, no gain. And I went through a lot of pain to earn the level of respect that I have. A lot of people who don't even like me wouldn't cross certain boundaries with me because they know that energetically, spiritually, I'm not the one. And it definitely manifests into that physical. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people nowadays give me grace just based off how strong my energy is. Because that's another thing too. When you spend so much time into your craft, into that consistency, into building yourself up, you have a unbreakable energy. You know what I'm saying? To the point where people are going to be afraid to cross you. And put this on everything I love. I really do. At one point, people will be afraid to cross you because will you really get G with this type of stuff? Because and this is different for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I could maybe be farther if I didn't. But I'm a vindictive woman, and I like to embrace who I am. When I am threatened, when I am put in a position where I feel like I need to protect myself, um oh yeah, I'm definitely, you know. And here's the thing, I truly believe that not everybody is who they look like. Everybody is supposed to be human, but we all know not everybody running around here is a human, right? And when you are able to put in a certain level of work and affirmation and consistency into yourself, you can shift. You can go from a human being to a siren. You can go to a human being to a goddess. You can go from a human being to a fairy, a mermaid. You can be all types of different mystical creatures. You know what I'm saying? And and I know that sounds crazy, right? Like that sounds crazy, but I want to give you guys like a real like life example of this. Like I'm going to use Michael Jackson for example because like that's just a great example, right? You see how Michael Jackson's consistency and the way that he put intention and affirmation behind himself and his craft is truly what made him go from a regular pop artist to the king of pop. So he is not just a pop artist, he's a king. You know what I'm saying? And even in the fact in the intentions and Michael Jackson's clothing when he would put the padding and he would have this here and wear the glove of righteousness. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and a huge symbol of Saint Michael, basically. All of this was cultivated into his energy, and that's why Michael Jackson is like a god to us, like literally a king. That's why we call him a king. And this is what I mean when I say when you put certain consistency and affirmation into you and yourself and your craft, you can go from a human being to a goddess to a siren to a mermaid. You feel me? You're not just a human being. And that's why some human beings are fucking vampires. Some human beings are fucking goblin demons. You know what I'm saying? And it's because we're not you are who you are making yourself out to be. You know what I mean? Some people live such basic robotic lives that they only are human. And that's why they get names like NPCs. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you're pouring into yourself is truly who you are. And that's why, when I walk around, I carry God's energy. People acknowledge my Goddess energy. People will call me a goddess all the time. And not just on some light shit, like on some wow. Like you're really giving me like goddess, like you're and they're fascinated. Because that's the type of work and consistency that I put into my craft, into myself. And that's why even when it comes to Ani Spa, that's why business is pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Because the consistency, the craft, the intention put in behind it is just so strong and so powerful. And especially like when you are getting these accolades, each accolade that you get that people can't see boosts your confidence. And that's why sometimes you'll see certain people walking, like for example, I talked about this in my last video when Diera was out of town in Italy and the people started taking pictures of her and they didn't know exactly who she was, but she actually had like over 1 million followers on Instagram. So that's what I mean when I say like that consistency and affirmation and work that you pour into yourself, people will be able to notice even though they don't know. And the accolades that you're able to gather for yourself, people will be able to notice that, but they won't know. You may have worked with some of the best celebrities. You may have came across some great athletes. You may have worked with some top-notch people, had conversations with a whole bunch of influencers, been acknowledged by some top-notch people. People don't know this. You may have like a degree in this. You may have taught kids this. You may have traveled here. People won't know just from looking at you, but the energy will speak. And that's why, like poor people, for example. Well, poor, insecure, depressed people, you can tell because they look like it. They didn't get up and wash their face and brush their teeth. You can tell. They didn't get up and wash their butt. You could tell. They are wearing ugly clothing. You can tell what they're going through. You can tell how life is going. You can tell who they are and where they're at in life because that look at what they're pouring into themselves. They look drained. They look tired. They look miserable because that's the affirmation that they give themselves. That's what they're pouring into themselves. If they uplifted themselves and gave themselves love and stopped spewing out hate, and I think one of the most important things in life is to stop spewing out hate. Even if you don't like someone, even if they truly did the most horrible thing that you don't like, you're taking away from yourself. If you are gonna like, if you cannot find a quick solution and to nip something in the butt, you have to move along. Stop acknowledging fake people, fake places. Stop acknowledging negativities. Try to stay far away from it as possible. Like sometimes, I tell myself all the time, like, it's okay to be alone. I'm usually, like, with my family, like my nana. Um, I'm with friends, the few that I have, the two, three friends that I have, or I'm with my baby, and that's okay. Or I'm by myself, and that's okay because sometimes people don't know how to stop talking about negativity. They don't have a conversation that flows and cultivates and mind. So if I want to stay on a divine frequency, I can't talk to you because all you do is complain and gossip every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you can't express yourself, but I will say that it's much better to express all the positive things. You know what I'm saying? Because why not? And I'm not saying that like every moment is gonna be like the best moment of your life, but you will learn to be a lot more grateful for your days, the more positive that you are. You know what I'm saying? You absolutely will. You will learn how to pour into what you want, the more positive that you are. But that's it for today. I'm not gonna stay up on here girl, because honestly, this technically was not really supposed to be a 30-minute video. But I really appreciate you guys for tuning in and supporting Ani's World. I love you guys. If nobody else loves you, Ani loves you. Okay, and Ani wants to see you do great and do better than what you did last year, do better than what you did last month, and do better than what you did yesterday. Um, yeah, so let yourself keep evolving. Give yourself the opportunity to know how great you are and always keep acknowledging everything that you've accomplished, everything that you survive. um and all your accolades from the smallest to the biggest. This is Ani's World. I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful day. If you are here, I would love for you to follow me on my Instagram. All my social medias are linked in my bio. And don't be afraid to book a massage, a facial, a wax with Ani's World. Ani's Spa, I mean. This is Ani's World. I'm talking about Ani's Spa. Okay, bye.